Well, this is I occasionally have been known to say, is definitely take two. The focus wasn't quite where I wanted it. Now it is. It's Tuesday. Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. And the work ladies are down getting their learner's driver's permit, which is a good deal. My wife's in at the computer preparing for classes this afternoon. And I'm out here back in the tunnel that I was in yesterday with a different flower. And I am pondering over a number. The number is 30 million, 30 with 6 more zeros after that. Basically the population of Canada, which is my native country and which kind of makes me recognize the number. It is also the number of people that have been affected by the monsoon flooding in in Pakistan. 30 million people. I have been watching video and news reports of it for the last week or so, and it is terrifying to watch this flooding go on. I'm not. You talk flooding, you're thinking a soft, gentle rising of water. This ain't like this. This has been raining since June, basically. And the rivers have turned into torrents of intensely angry, muddy water. And you can see, look it up on the web, you can see whole houses and structures being washed off the side of the river into the river and floating down the river. It's just terrifying. But it's climate change, and what can we say? China is in the worst recorded heat wave that they've got. Pakistan is in the worst flooding that they've had. British Columbia, Canada is in the worst late heat waves with uncontrolled wildfires that they've had. The drought in Southwest America is now just considered permanent. There is flooding in Vegas, Las Vegas of all places. And Germany is running out of groundwater because of the heat waves. Plus, what I've just read today, it is absolutely water under the bridge now. The ice pack in Greenland has melted so much that in the foreseeable future, there will be a rise in the ocean levels of at least 10 inches. We're not talking 200 years from now. We may not be talking 50 years from now. We could be talking 10 years from now, worst case scenario. And this is something that won't be stopped, even if we cut out all the carbon emissions right now. That is just going to continue on because the climate has changed that much already. And I think in Peru, somebody has got a lawsuit against the industrialized world, I'm tempted to say. And the courts are taking it serious because Peru's glaciers have melted and Peru didn't have any industry to cause this, and they're suffering and they want compensation. A novel approach, it may work. But 30 million people, 30 million people are in long-term pain because of flooding. And I don't wish to play the guilt card, but it's flooding that Pakistan might have been able to prevent if it put all its money into building along its rivers and what have you. I don't know that they couldn't have prevented it, they just might have. But I do know that their industry base did not put that much pollution into the air that they caused this to happen. Now, all of humanity has caused this to happen. Pakistan doesn't have the industry. That's true, but they buy the stuff that the industries in the other countries that produce the pollution make. So yeah, they're as guilty as the rest of us. They don't produce it, they just consume it to the highest possible amount that they can. Like anybody, they want the best that they can live. And that means living in a Western style, consuming products that have high carbon footprints, and therefore, ipso facto, they're as guilty as the rest of us. We're all guilty, folks. We're all consuming way too much, and we didn't take the warning seriously. And that, I dare say, is going to be very, very costly. But at this point, we can't stop what's already happened. We can't stop what will in the near future continue to happen. But if we really get our act together, and humans aren't known for that, I might say, we could stop the worst of it from happening 100 or 200 years down the road, or possibly 50 years down the road. There is that story about the straw that broke the camel's back, folks. And for those of you that aren't aware of it, they're trying to see how much this camel can carry, and they've got an immense load on it, and then somebody puts one more little piece of straw on it, and it was just that weight that was too much. And it all came down. There is a balancing act that you will find in some of the better circuses, often done by women, also by men. I prefer the women that do it because it is an act of grace with them versus an act of strength that it is with the men. And they start by taking a long stick, 2 meters long, maybe 3 meters, and balancing a feather on the end of it. And then they proceed to build this incredible shape, somewhat like a whale skeleton, or possibly a butterfly wing without anything over it. It's a marvelous act to follow. Takes about 5 minutes. People go through all sorts of contortions of bending down, standing up, moving with it, putting new pieces on at various places. And they're all sort of, they know what they're doing, and they've got their setup perfect. And when it's done, it starts to rotate and move around, and they spin it, and it's beautiful. And then they put it in a stand and they spin it, and they move out from it, and it continues to spin around, and they reach up and they pluck off the feather. And when they take the feather off, it all falls down. Game over. And of course the house erupts in applause and what have you. And I wonder personally if that's how this climate change is going to behave. Will it continue on until that moment is reached, and then, to use a well-worn phrase, all hell breaks loose? Is that what's going to happen? Does all hell break loose all of a sudden? Like in the worst of the disaster movies that Hollywood puts out, or Bollywood? I don't know. I truly don't. But at 9 minutes, I'm going to shut off this video. I hope I've given you something to think about. It's not doomsday. We can overcome this. We can correct our mistakes. We can make it better for our descendants. But we got to work together, and boy, we got to do it starting yesterday. Anyway, God willing, and the creek don't rise too much, we'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more video, and we'll see how that goes. Y'all take care, and I wish you luck today. Bye-bye.